you ever had a yellow watermelon? I never had a yellow watermelon until about a couple of weeks ago when I went to a couple of farmers market and I purchased one. I asked the woman who was selling it if she could explain the difference between the yellow watermelon and the red watermelon in taste. I became fascinated after eating the yellow watermelon, which tasted like honeydew, to me anyways. So I thought I'd do a little research about the watermelon, and this is what this little video is about. I hope you enjoy it. Watermelon with yellow flesh were actually cultivated before red watermelons. They were first grown in Africa about 5,000 years ago and went through a crossbreeding to produce red watermelons. Yellow watermelons are generally slightly sweeter than red watermelons and have a honey-like flavor. Watermelons were originally cultivated for their high water content and were stored to be eaten during the dry season, not only as a food source, but as a method of storing water. Watermelon seeds were found at the Dead Sea region at the ancient settlement of Babydra. Many 5,000-year-old wild watermelon seeds were discovered at Mahagayat, a prehistoric archaeological site located in the southwestern Libya. This archaeobotanical discovery may support the possibility that the plant was more widely distributed in the past, in the 7th century. Watermelons were being cultivated in India and by the 10th century had reached China. The Moors introduced the fruit into the Iberian Peninsula, and there were evidence of it being cultivated in Cordoba in 961 and also in Seville in 1158. It spread northwards through southern Europe, perhaps limited in its advance by summer temperature being insufficient for a good yield. The fruit had begun appearing in Europe herbals by 1600 and was widely planted in Europe in the 17th century as a minor garden crop. Early watermelons were not sweet, but bitter, with yellowish-white flesh. They were difficult to open. Through breeding, watermelons later tasted better and were easier to open. European colonists and enslaved people from Africa introduced the watermelon to the New World. Spanish settlers were growing in Florida in 1576. It was being grown in Massachusetts by 1629 and by 1650 was being cultivated in Peru, Brazil, and Panama. Around the same time, Native Americans were cultivating the crop in the Mississippi Valley in Florida. Watermelons were rapidly accepted in Hawaii and other Pacific islands when they were introduced there by explorers such as Captain James Cook. In the Civil War era, the United States, watermelons were commonly grown by free black people. The seeds have a nutty flavor and can be dried and roasted or ground into flour. Watermelon rinds may be eaten, but their unappealing flavor may be overcome by pickling, sometimes eaten as a vegetable, stir-fried, or stew. Nutrition facts. Watermelon fruit is 91% water, contains 6% sugar, and is low in fat.